Yeah? Oi, the 24th of November, we're going to be at Leicester Square Theatre. We're doing a live recording. Come.
That's it.
Yeah,
Just roll up. That's it.
Sunday the 24th.
Sunday the 24th of November, we're going to be at Leicester Square Theatre. Tickets are out right now.
Boom. Serious.
Yeah.
Boom.
By the way, it starts at 5. It finishes at 9. The recording starts at 6. So be in there before that time. Yeah? Cool. Enjoy the show.
Can I ask you one question though?
What?
If I buy a ticket for the show, is that sad?
Wretch dropped a song just recently. Was it Mummy's Boy? You know what it is, yeah? I'll tell you something I really like about Wretch is that I feel like I've watched Wretch and studied him for pretty much all, if not the beginning of his career, yeah? And I'm always learning something about him still. Like, he's an artist that I will always learn, because he's always got something to say. There's always something going on. And that's natural because, you know, with somebody who raps like that, of course you're going to experience certain things and you can just put it in your music and just talk about it or whatever, or make a project about it. But like, it's like, from a fan's point of view, it always feels nice that I'm learning something from one of my favourite artists. I could know this person. I speak to Wretch. I haven't spoken to him for a little while now, but it's just like, it's a good taster to know that like he's about to drop a project and he's got something to say. He's been away, he's felt something. Look at his hair. He's looking like a proper Rasta man. I'm just talking about Wretch.
Yeah.
I was just saying that like it feels good to know that I've been watching him for damn near all of his career. Yeah? And it just feels sick that like I'm still learning things about him. And that's natural because he's a man and like he's a father and you know he's got all of these situations going on. What's that there?
German doner kebab.
Blur that out because you know what I mean, free promotion and that joke. But
Wretch and like Gets and Scorcher, the movement, they were the first like grime artists that I felt when I listened to their projects. I was hearing about it. I was understanding a lot about their life, from their relationships to their relationships with their children. And like different aspects. It was the first time I'd heard that on Grime. Maybe Dizzy was like a little like Boy in the Corner was quite in depth about his life, but not so much. Yeah. More kind of the more heartfelt, emotional side. Yeah. And they've always been doing that from like from the first mixtapes, Teachers Training Day, and what was the first? Learn from my mixtape. Learn from my mixtape. Yeah. And like Simply the Best.
Yeah, that was Scorcher's mixtape.
What's Scorcher's second one? That was cold.
I've got that actually. Was it Concrete Jungle or something like that?
Was it Concrete Jungle? Yeah, it might have been. With Sandpit, that was the intro. Do you remember that?
From Scorcher, yeah. I was talking about Scorcher before that. I was thinking about that Cold Blooded days when Scorcher was doing just raves and sets like that. They might have been around for so long.
Bashy was like that, to be fair. His projects were very in-depth and...
Suck Your Mum Volume 1.
Bro, yeah, exactly. The Chopper Chops mix. We always talk about the Chopper Chops mix. That's an absolute classic. You know what we need to do? Do you know what
Ransom 2. That's what they need to do.
Oh yeah, they need to do that as well.
That will never happen though.
One day, I tell you, you know what we need to do one day, which would be fun, yeah? We should pick like an old mixtape, like an old project from an artist, yeah? Who was telling some form of stories, and like we should just go through it. We should just play it and just go through it and talk about it and just reminisce about it, because obviously life for us was very different at that time too, but it'd just be fun to just think about like how we thought about it at the time and how it sounds today, how it's aged, and just even what they were talking about and how they've changed. I think that would make a sick conversation, to be honest.
I'm gonna get you some of the old there was like some G-Hop CDs.
Nah.
So there was there's something called G-Hop, and they used to make CDs of like the best UK music.
Is it?
Yeah, and I'm talking, this is 2004, 2005, my brother will know.
Have you still got some?
I've still got some of the CDs, I'll bring them in. And if you review some of the like Mashtown tunes that were coming out back in the day.
Yeah.
What? Fam. No, I'm heading out. Alright, now I don't know what you're about.
Yeah.
But it's best I leave you. Fam, Tricky, Marks, them man was so cold,
sick to
bro.
see Tricky do his.
Do you know what I mean?
Telling
I'm
you,
so
bro,
happy for Tricky, bro.
He's made for it as well, bro.
He's
I swear,
amazing.
like he's made for it, bro. I'm gonna get him here. He did a good. They had a good conversation with Hypo.
I ain't watched
it
it yet.
It's
I need
really
to take
good, you
it in,
know.
though. That's
It's
gonna
good.
be
You know what it
interesting.
is as well. It's like maybe this is something to speak to him about. Like, but I think it's kind of sick to see a little bit. I know not everyone may agree with this or whatever, but like just how Hypo's personality is sort of like moved into like a lane of wanting to have a good time, and you can see it. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, he wants to have a good time. Of course, he naturally has a thing where it's like, it could be that. Like, let's never get that twisted. It could be that. But I'm out here having a good time. It's lit. I'm with these, man. Like, I'm like, there's not so much of a, there's still a divide, but there's not so much of a wide divide in terms of the older artists. Like, you start seeing them hanging around together a little bit more. Do you know what I mean? They're fucking going out and buying expensive stuff. I'm going to talk about this a little bit later on as well, yeah? I know that, like, depending on your mindset and how you see things, you can look at certain things and see it as pocket watching. But for me, yeah, when I see certain artists doing certain things from a financial position, it's inspiring to me. I love it. I love hearing when an artist stunts a little bit on a song, and I know that he's telling the truth. The reason why I love it so much is because I know it wasn't always like that. I know, like, for some of the young bucks, like, it literally looks like it's just kind of been like that because they're looking at everyone shining and that. Before, I say this all of the time, everyone was just doing this because it was just fun. Most people that like, or a way out, but most people were looking at people from across the seas as stunters and driving the big whips with chains and all of that type of stuff. Now it's the man them. And listen, I love it. I might not love all of the music, that's natural. But I love seeing a man I love seeing Lethal B driving around in a Rolls Royce. Fam, I would I couldn't fathom that. A man driving around in a Rolls Royce. I couldn't personally. And that might be why I love it so much. That might be why I love it so much. Kano says in his new album, we'll talk about it, but when he said, you know, if you haven't got 80, don't ask me what my rate is. I love that. Like, that's not £80. This is a lot of money. I remember when $5,000 was big dough for a show. Yeah. Big dough.
$5,000?
$5,000.
I remember when a man told me he got $5 for a set. I couldn't believe what $5. A whole £500.
I'll take it deeper than that. I remember when a man told me he got 2 bills.
Mad.
What?
Mad.
Big though.
Mad.
What you get? So you're getting 2 bills here, 2 bills there, 2 bills here, 2 bills there, and the next 2 bills, and that's our bag.
Fam, you know some of them are all having 2-3 shows a night, and they come back to me like, bro, I'm like, what? You made $1,500?
Exactly.
You're doing your thing.
Big though.
Let the tax man know though, but you're doing your thing.
Well, that's still. Them times there, man, like a lot of man weren't doing the tax.
Come on.
You know what I mean? But in hindsight, I guess it is like changing. It's all cash, innit? Back then, you were just getting big cash. Artists are still getting that, right?
Oh yeah,
artists are still getting the big, like the cash things and that now.
Come on.
But there's so much big dough involved in it now. Is that like? It's like it seems like club PAs are just. You're more likely to see a fucking Love Islander do a club PA in that now because the man them are too fucking expensive. Man can't just
go to the club.
Huh?
For what?
Man can't go to the club now. It's hard to get them in the club.
Paying people are getting 8, 10, 12 for club appearances.
What?
See what I'm saying?
Love that. Then go to the club.
Yeah, bro.
50 Cent, find me in
to
it.
the club for 8 racks.
What?
Mad. Preston for 8 racks. Come
My
on,
brother, more time I'm going to the club, I'm spending about at least like £400.
But it's that you get your money, you get your rider, you get everything paid for, your hotels, everything. So it's lit.
Let them know, my brother. Yeah, watch when I get my hotel.
That's normal
8
now.
racks.
That's normal now.
Yeah, but it's
Man
not
was
for
getting
me.
Man was getting 5 or 4 racks for a festival. What? And look, this is no disrespect to any artist that is getting 4 or 5 racks for a festival because that's still like
That's mad.
That's nice. That's still big dough.
Come on.
But right now, you want to get if you're looking at a top tier, what?
I know what some man are getting, and I'm just like, what?
Remember, Giggs came here a couple of years ago, or whenever, a year and a half ago, and said, when he was talking, he said, remember them times there, he goes, I was like, I've got like 40 bags and that.
He said 50.
50? Yeah. And it was like, and he wanted it out, and I remember saying, look, like, keep that in, because it is inspirational, though. Do you get what I'm saying? I know that you don't want to seem like you're stunting on man and all of that, and maybe I know just taxes and all these type of things too. But that to me, I find that shit mad inspirational.
But when we were growing up, it was So Solid that was lit, innit?
They were lit.
They were lit. That's the
God.
like Mega's the first person I remember thinking, rah, like you look like you're doing this like the Americans.
Yes.
Big diamond chains. Don't know if they were platinum, white, gold, whatever, but big diamond chains.
It was like a conscious decision, like a thing of like, we could do this too though.
Yeah.
Like he was thinking in his head, nah, okay, these men are coming here and doing all of that, but we can do that though.
Of course.
He was doing it in a tracksuit with an afro comb in his hair.
Head.
Let me tell you something. Mega Man might have been one of the first superheroes I saw as a black man from the UK on TV. The first superhero.
No, I agree.
Because you had people that were great, but he was a superhero.
Yeah, he was.
Like a full-blown
Do you
superhero.
remember what he was wearing in Lisa Mafia video? The
suit
he had hair
team.
rollers.
With the hair.
and he had
yeah.
pajamas.
Oh my God, no, he had pajamas
He had
on.
the Jacobs on as well.
yeah.
And it
He
was only
did.
Americans that had Jacobs. That's all I saw on TV. When they started rocking Jacobs, I was like, nah.
And he had the girls around him whilst he was getting... Bro, you see my man?
Crystal, everything.
He just fought different. He just fought bigger.
Yeah. Oh my God.
He just fought bigger. He just fought bigger. Even in his video, Ride With Us, yeah? My man was on the rooftop screaming out, why me? And they're just driving past and it's the Audi TTs and I'm sorry, Mega Man, he just fought bigger.
We should bring him in.
I don't
as
think
well.
anyone's
Amazing.
done it like him, to be fair.
Nah.
Done it how they done it. But it was a different time.
He looked like
completely
in terms
different
of the
time.
money and the budgets, it was a different
Yeah,
time.
of course.
He looked like Puff Daddy.
He did.
I was
These
looking
lot
at
had
this
I
man.
remember when he pulled
These lot
up.
were spending 6 figures on videos and that.
Yeah.
Like, even the amount of money everyone's getting now, not a lot of people doing that.
That
If
was the
any.
time. That was the time when, like, you know, everyone was looking for like, well, the Americans anyway, in particular, were looking for the R&B budget. That was all around them time. But you know what? Yeah.
And sorry to add, can I just say one thing about So Solid?
Yeah.
They had consistent top tier music for me. Like, you know, when I look at their back catalogue, they have so many moments where I go, that's why I even rated Mega Man even more. Like, so much music.
Do you know what it was as well? They were really consistent in their branding. Like, it was like everything has to represent this.
All black.
Do you get what I'm saying? Everything has to represent this. And we do it for this. Like, it's bigger than just it being an individual. This is for this. And also showing people that you could do it too. You don't have to look over there.
Yeah.
This is what we do. I remember when Mega used to roll up in the TT at the under 18 when I was like a heavy in the under 18 scene, and used to just pull up outside in the TT. And that's like when you said about the first superhero, that was like a superhero to me. A man that was outside in I think his one was green. He had the green TT. It was him or maybe Asher D had, because they all had TTs at one point, didn't
They all had TTs. It's nuts.
That's
Mad.
mad, you know. Do you not understand? You understand at that point as well, the TT was a mad thing.
Yeah, but and then they got the Lexuses, isn't it?
I did that. I don't
Drop
even
top Lexuses.
And the taxman knew their name.
Because I'm pretty sure on the album, on Ride With Us, he says Mega and the TT, but then in the video, they've
It's
changed
got
it
the
to
Lexus.
Lexus at that point, and they've changed the audio.
Mad.
But that was
Is that
exciting.
fucking Mega Man?
Yeah.
Nah.
The Audi TT? What an Afro comedy? You don't
Do you know
understand.
what? Do you know what?
Superhero.
Do you know what jars me? Yeah, when people talk about Boy in the Corner and Home Sweet Home and all the classic, what classic UK albums, they don't know So Solid is 100% in there.
100
But
million.
people don't
million.
mention it though, because it's not like that's garage. It wasn't grime, innit?
It was
People
so solid.
People almost talk about Dizzy Boy in the Corner.
Is that what Poet said?
What do you mean?
It was so solid. Because
It
it
was
was
just so solid,
it was
fam.
garage, but it was like,
It was their own.
when you
sort
look
of
at some
garage.
of it was different though. So elements of it was different. When you look at Dilemma, because that's the thing I always bring up. That rhythm Dilemma was not a garage rhythm.
Right, but it's like the transition from garage to grime.
Yeah, so
Like,
exactly.
oh no, if
so,
you
so
really
that,
deep
so
it,
that
oh no,
part-
is a grime beat.
Yeah.
So that comes before No We and all of these songs.
Yeah, but
Really.
then they would mix it up and just
But
link
then
up.
you got Lisa Mafia on it with a melody, which makes it more garagey.
But
Yeah.
even, but this is why I say it's so solid, because then they'll just drop Rap This and they'll get Oxide Neutrino and it'll be a gully video.
That was a
and-
little bit. That was when they were transitioning into rap, innit?
But the transitions happen throughout, because
They
that
were
was way
always
before
kinda
they done
rapping,
song. As I stand here, like Rap This
Oh,
was
yeah.
way before that. I just think So Solid was so solid. They were actually so solid.
Because we say that, yeah, but Rap This as an instrumental. I'm sure Rap This was an instrumental first before it was even a song.
Look,
They were playing that on So Solid Sundays and barring on it.
Well, then these men are just doing whatever. They just done whatever they wanted to do. Genuinely,
There was a few of
whatever
them.
to do.
There was a few of those rhythms that were like instrumentals before they were actually songs.
I love So Solid.
But then that's also the same with like some of the early grime tunes and that as well. Like some of them were just instrumentals. Or whatever.
Morgan might be right, you know.
I heard I Love You as the instrumental before I heard the tune.
So did I. But I'm saying Morgan might be right. I don't actually, when I'm thinking about it now, I don't really hear anyone talk about that album and say that was or emphasize how much of a big moment that was.
That is as big as Boy in the Corner.
That was a massive
Easily.
moment.
You're right. People
moment.
don't mention the album. They mention them.
It might be bigger. Like it sold more. It had more of it. It might have even had more of an impact at the time. There's no one that didn't have So Solid's album. No.
Everyone was doing So Solid. Everyone.
By the time Dizzy comes, it's grime and it's a little bit harder to take in. Like obviously we were into grime, innit? Yeah. But like for the outside world, it's a little bit more niche. Remember, garage was all top 10 music at the time.
At the same time,
So Solid's darker garage was still part of that.
If So Solid was one man, maybe they'll talk about it more because you very rarely do you speak about. I always think groups always never really get the credit they deserve in comparison to one sole figure, and I don't know why that is. But I hear groups of individuals make very high quality music, but because there isn't one face behind it. Because back in the day, that's what you do. You have a group and it'll be one man that'll be the face of the group, i.e. Beyonce or Justin Timberlake with NSYNC, so they'll just do well with it because that's the face of the group. Nowadays, you don't have a face of a group. The group is actually more time a talented group of individuals that all kind of need each other. So it's like there's so many different faces for you to gravitate towards. With Dizzy Rascal, it's just Dizzy Rascal. Or Kano, it's just Kano. Do you know what I mean? Like, how can you have Nasty Crew with all of those elements and all those talented people, but it takes for someone to leave that group to be themselves to propel? But in that group, there is
Nasty Crew as a group was absolutely fucking
elite, bro. Too elite.
Get out.
Too elite still.
Right, get out.
Yeah, they were like, together they were just, it was mad. I've got so much memories of just watching them and tapes that I had of them and like.
They're Barcelona.
Yeah, they were. Even like one time, just watching them at Freeze FM one time, bruv, these man on the microphone were just. Just before we even just talk about Nasty Crew quickly, while you swallow that, Asher D was one of my
major
favorites.
pause,
Sorry, brother.
Thank you, bro.
But Asher D was my favorite in So Solid, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. Asher D, I just thought was fucking absolutely incredible. Scat D, Roma.
Scat D was my guy.
Yeah, Scat D was a bad boy on the microphone.
But Asher D was just lit because then, God forgive me for saying this. This is how ignorant I was when I was younger. Going in prison was lit. Like if you went prison, oh my God, you went prison. That's mad. So when he went prison, I didn't see him for time. And then I watched that video, As I Stand Here. And you know it had like everyone doing the lyrics to the song.
Yeah.
Asher D just came out of nowhere, lifted
I remember
his head.
that.
I went mad. It was like when Stone Cold came back and Undertaker came back, and it was mad. These men were superheroes to me.
Yeah,
you don't
were.
understand. If I saw somebody with this guy anywhere in London in a picture, cuz I want to know how you got there. What did he smell? These men were superheroes to me.
Definitely. And do you know what as well, actually?
Superheroes.
That Asher D situation with him going in jail was the first time, obviously man was a young back then anyway, but that was like the first time where listening to him talk about that scenario and that situation in his life, made me really understand things a little bit better. Because, he was on that thing of people think that I was rolling around with it on a thing of it's fun and I'm trying to intimidate everyone. Yo, I'm in the hood. People are coming for me every day. Yeah. I'm getting phone calls every day. I'm getting man threatening my life every single day.
London
lit, but I'm here. It was mad for man. What was that club that was in Brixton? It's opposite. It was opposite Brixton Electric, but I can't remember. It was like a proper big club.
Have been there.
Oh,
I don't
next to Brixton Electric.
No, it was in front of it, but it's not there anymore. So whoever's from there will know exactly what I'm talking about.
Ice Club or
no. But anyway, that was That was a big club in that there, but it used to pop. What? Listen, I swear, there were some good dances there, but after it was like war zone. War zone, bro.
And that's how the thing is, I don't know whether I'm getting older or like when I was younger. This is just the way I don't know what it is, but I know going to a rave back in the day, I used to leave 20 minutes before the end. And the thing is, if you stayed the extra 20 minutes, you could draw the nicest girls. But the super bikes might turn up, or someone might just get their trainer stepped on, or you might hear something. It was always a fight.
Yeah, and it was like around them times as well. Some of them beefs were like mad fresh because a couple man had died or been killed and that. So then you had like this area not getting on with that. But at the same time, with all of these areas not getting on, which is the same still today, but with all of these areas not getting on and their beef being like really fueling, and it becoming a super mad thing, the scene was still there. It was like people still wanted to go out, people still wanted to rave and shit. Garage, it was the end of garage coming into grime. It was grime as well.
It was mad
exciting,
wanted to be there. Man. Like whether it was dangerous, but it was exciting at the same time. It was new music. It was like, do you get what I'm saying?
I was crazy. The fact that I agree with you.
Going to pirate radio, like when we used to go pirate radio, like it's dangerous.
Dangerous.
Like, but you're there, innit? You're there.
Why? I was mentally ill.
One
That's
day,
the only explanation.
do you know what? There's so many conversations having that. Even just talking about the pirate radio stations being dangerous. Are bad things I could tell you from back in them. I used to roll with Nasty Jack. Nasty Jack listens to this sometimes. He's got stories, because Nasty Jack one time went at the top of the fucking the block to change something or whatever, and then ended up there was a shooting or some shit like that. Like, man were risking their life for this thing. And also on top of that, I remember a time when Bashy went on Freezer Femme and he started running his mouth. You know what Bashy's like as well.
Yeah, back in the day was so funny, man.
He was on there running his mouth. And I was hearing about man just rolling up to the studio while he was in there and all of that stuff, trying to get him out and all of that. That was what you had to face at radio. Because you could go there and start sending for man and man might just turn up.
Do you know what? That's why I really that's why I proper, and to this day still do, fucked with Bashy. Because he wasn't in no hoodie. Donnie was in an Adidas tracksuit with a lollipop running his mouth. I said, I fucking...
You know Eddie, innit? Eddie.
Yeah.
Eddie was at my house earlier and we were talking about Bashy and what he's achieved. I don't think there's many people that's achieved what he's achieved from our scene, like from
at all.
Grime, from pirate radio.
At all.
No. From where he's come from to where he is right now.
I was watching I was in LA and I was watching a Super Bowl. And then the program that came on after the Super Bowl was the premiere of his 24 series that he done.
Okay.
So I was in America watching the Super Bowl after. Then they've left the TV on and everyone's just chatting and I've looked up and Bashy's there talking an American accent. I'm saying, this is mad.
Yeah.
Bro.
Proper.
Because Bashy went quiet for a sec as well. I guess that's the stuff he was
doing. Do you know what's
innit?
so ironic here? That's Bashy's thing.
Yeah.
Bashy's like, before, Bashy was just loud and was a barra, and like one thing that people don't talk about when you're talking from a deeper point of view, when we were talking about MCing and that, was how good his clarity was. See, with Bashy, you heard every single word. He wanted you to hear every single thing he was saying, but now it's like Bashy has got himself into a position where it's like, I'm not loud, but what I'm doing is super incredibly insanely lit. Like, it's just completely in a different dimension. Just talking on him doing the 24 thing, I think someone in particular, an artist from here, saw him in America, and they saw Bashy and whatever, and they was like, right. Like, when he started chatting to him, he was talking in an American accent, but he was like...
Method acting.
Yeah, he was method acting, and he was still in it, and it was like... I'd heard all of this stuff, and you always hear... We spoke about it before. You always hear these conversations about method acting, and Jim Carrey doing it, and you mentioned someone else, I can't remember.
Jim Carrey's what I mentioned, that was the scariest one I've seen.
But like...
Oh yeah, the guy that done Joke Up again.
Yeah, but actually, because I saw it, I filmed the behind the scenes stuff at Top Boy, and I hadn't seen Bashy for ages. So when I got there in the morning... And as I've gone to see him, I've gone to embrace him, like proper hug him, like, I ain't seen you for ages kind of thing. And he's kind of just sort of said hello, but he's just pushed me aside a little bit. And Kano's standing over there, and he's looking at him like this is gonna be a mad beef. And I'm like, what's? I'm so confused. One, it's the morning. Two, I'm like, you two know each other. I know that you man go dinner together and all of this type of stuff. Then anyway, Kane started laughing, and then he was like, yeah, like for the whole time.
Top Boy, innit?
Yeah.
I said they're cousins, and he was gonna body him.
Yeah, but he's like, for the whole time that they've been filming that, he's been in character. So I was watching this guy.
Sick.
Let me tell you something here. I was watching this guy. He jumped out of the car. And when he got there, he went into his trailer and he had like the mad swagger walk, whatever. Walked into his trailer, didn't see him, couldn't really have a conversation with him. Then when it was time for him to go and shoot his bit, he's come out, he's bopped out on like he's on a mad thing. He's gone and done whatever. I didn't see it. Then he's come back like it's another mad thing. Then I'm having a conversation with like Kane and Ashley, yeah. Then he's come out again to do another bit, but he's looking at them as if to say, do you want it now? Like, if you want it now, let me know that you want it now. But them two just started laughing. They were just kind of like, this is what he's done. This is how he's been doing his thing. This is how he's been the whole time. And it shows you how professional that this guy is and how he he proper embodies what it is that he's doing.
You know what though?
But it's sick to see.
You saying that makes a lot of sense though, because even like the way that Your Mum Volume 1 and Chopper Chops was all packaged, and you got Chopper Chops with the lollipop, and like he always took his thing super serious.
He lived that as well. He was walking around with the lollipops.
Yeah, literally.
My brother, he done a dance routine. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Oi, no!
Man, they're not doing dance routines if they're not taking this thing serious. Bashy, fam, he's the littest, fam. He's actually one of the littest. He's had like one of the biggest clashes. He's had one of the biggest songs in the scene in Black Boys.
Yeah.
He's had some of the best freestyles. One of his F64 and flipping SBTV is legendary.
Yeah.
Bro, he's just lit. His verse in Youngin's song the other day was fucking lit.
His practice hours.
Oh my. Bro, and now he's just acting and he's just taking over.
Do you know what it is as
Ashley
well?
Thomas, man.
That's another thing, because I'm going to mention this as well, is that like, there's an element of, here it is. When I see, when I was talking about artists stunting and stuff like that, yeah, I always do think about like Bashy's song Black Boys as well, and I think like this is that, like Black Boys up in this bitch. That's how I see it when I see man living that life now, and like, you know, we'll get to that in a bit, but let me just, I don't know if you ever saw this, because remember he used to always say, "Oi, nah."
Is that Risky Road?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
He said, "You won't see me doing a Harlem shake. You'll see me skanking." Yeah? I'm judged by who you roll with and what barbs you wear and what girls you banged and how ice the chain is, what makes you famous. Girls matter boys, who's got the status? Get robbed on a bitch or a joke for ages. I just keep my head low. I don't watch no one. I grind, I triple my favors, but oi! Nah! It's there. He's got the green t-shirt on with the green Chopper Chops lollipop. What a fucking guy, bro.
Fam, he's just a hero, man. Like you said, he took everything serious. He knew exactly, and do you know what it is? It seems like he knows exactly who he needs to be at every single part of his life. So he may not fully know who he is. I don't know. I haven't had a conversation with him like that. But I'll tell you one thing: at any point in his life, he knows what's required for him, for what he needs to do in order to go to the next stage. And I proper respect people like that. I like to be around people like that because they can teach me so much more.
Yeah, definitely.
He's lit, man.
Definitely.
Proper
Big up
lit.
to Bashy. Now, obviously, I know this is super early. The only reason why this is even a conversation now is because you're going away, Callum's going away, and the weekend after that, I might not be around.
Callum ain't going nowhere, fam. Callum's going South End, fam. He's lying saying he's going to Napa, fam.
But I might not be around.
Footage right now.
Yeah, Callum's on
right
job.
now.
He's definitely on job still.
Good.
Look at him. Look at my
I
man.
don't
You
even know
know.
we're talking
Racist.
about.
Callum's at it, you know.
What?
He's the thing.
He filmed our flipping E-Rap podcast the other
That's
day.
sick, by the way. I'm glad that you've got him doing that, bro. You're doing that
I
every
didn't
couple
want
of
to,
weeks.
but...
Is it, yeah?
Oh, no, send it. He's not even listening.
He's not even listening.
Whatever, man,
I could
Hitler.
be saying some real mad shit about him. He'll see it anyway when he's ready. But yeah, while I was away, I still got to take in 2 projects. One in particular, I've really got to take in Kano's project, Hoodies All Summer. And what's funny about that is that when I listened to Made in a Manor, I remember I listened to that the day that it came out, and I listened to it a couple of times over. just laying down, just listening to just that whole vibe or whatever. And this time, when this came out, I had free time. So I'd woke up, I was in Poland and stuff like that. And you know what? I don't know if you lot are like this, yeah, but sometimes I can't listen to certain projects when I'm in a different country because it's like, sometimes it just doesn't really match the vibe. And it's a bit of a weird thing. Like if I'm in America...
No, it's not weird.
If I'm in America... If I was in America, I don't know if I'd have been able to listen to Made in America. Made in a Manor. Because I'm in New York, I'm just fucking on my... Made Harlem shaking.
ASAP though,
you know, yeah, I could listen to that still, of course, because it matches that vibe a little bit.
You can listen to Skepta in any country, but carry on.
Yeah, that's true. But I think I was in a different country when his last album came out. I didn't listen to it then.
You probably chose not to. But that's another conversation.
That's a conversation for another day. But yeah, listen. Have you heard it, Morgs?
I've listened to it once. You
listened to it once, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you my observation on it. I thought it was a very, very interesting project here. I proper liked it, by the way. But there was a couple of things that I was really curious about. And I hope that he mentions them in the conversation that he's about to drop with Akala. Because he's about to drop a conversation with Akala. By the way, that's lit, by the way.
That's so
I think like
cold.
Akala would just be so good at having like... doing interviews or having conversations with certain types of artists, like and just exactly. But just on top of that, just seeing like two artists that are that have something to say, have a conversation. Do you know what I mean? I love that type of stuff. So there's a couple of things that like I know that comes out now. It's out now as we speak here. But there's a few things that I'd like to know. But on a deeper level, the production. Yeah, honorable shout out to the producers on the project. Yeah. He put out who produced it, who the producers were on the album. But I was saying to myself, none of them were like any notable producers from like the grime scene or anything like that. They were like one producer in particular who like worked on like Garage Skank and a few other songs that he'd done in the past on that. But I'm like, surely he must have a producer's credit on this, because to have those people working on it, yeah, and to embody a nostalgic sound but a proper forward thinking one at the same time, of course.
It feels like grown up grime.
Yeah. It's like proper nostalgic but very forward thinking. But of course, if you've got talented producers and they've listened to stuff before, whatever, or maybe they've done things that I'm not aware that they've done, of course you might listen to some things before and you might be able to recreate stuff and do your own sound with it or whatever because you're a talented producer. But it's just the sound on some of them, yeah. It's so down to the T, but so forward thinking at the same time. It's mad to me. But it's very sick. Very cohesive as well. But like, I wanted to ask you, who do you feel started that sound of, you know, like the song starts a certain way and then it goes into something else. It goes into like another beat. 'Cause I was thinking about this the other day. I'm going to say, the first time I ever heard a project that was kind of like that was Thank Me Later. Because, you know, Drake had like...
I feel like maybe Kanye before him, you know.
And I feel like Timbaland and Missy Elliott before that. And then I feel like Teddy Riley, like the early 90s.
But do you know what I mean?
Was
what I'm
working
talking
behind
about?
the scenes. Yeah, when the song sounds like two different
When
songs.
did 808 and Heartbreak come out?
Teddy Riley was doing that.
So like, no, there was like early projects like...
and by the way, I'm not talking about a single song. I'm talking about projects.
Projects like that. Oh,
Yeah.
I can't think of projects like that. I know the people that flirted with it the most, to the point where they sort of flirted with it but didn't really do it,
Yeah.
would be the Timbalands and the Missy Elliottts,
Yeah,
to the point
yeah.
where they've done it in music videos,
Yeah.
where they would just stop a song
Yeah.
and put another song in there, which kind of gave you that feel.
Yeah, but that was...
But
that
it wasn't
was almost
part of
like
a...
to show the B-side of
the other
No,
song.
I understand that, but
Yeah.
one thing it did let me see is just like raw, like that actually
It works.
it worked to the point where that became a staple thing. That's when I think there'll be some examples of Timbaland songs where it's seen, but I think I know what you're talking about as a full-on project. I couldn't tell you who, but I remember like my dad's got some old school music from like the 70s, the 80s where they've done things like that. But
Yeah, because I know of like songs from before, like songs, but like
not
projects.
projects.
Yeah, and it's hard to do. It's hard to execute it like that and to make it so cohesive at the same time too. But like that was done sick as well. Like the way that some of the stuff changes. There's a
Thank
song.
Me Later come out?
Boy, Callum, he's editing. Google it. Wait, I want to make sure that I
You
say
fancy,
this. It's
huh?
Teardrop.
You said thank me later,
it's
innit?
the one, yeah, in particular.
You said thank me later, innit?
Is it Thank Me Later? Yeah?
Or So Far Gone.
No, the first one. Thank
So
Me
Far
Later.
Gone. That was
Thank
the
Me Later,
mixtape.
No, Thank Me Later. Oh no, the
Thank Me
first
Later.
album. 'Cause
Thank
that
Me
fir-
Later.
Thank Me
Yeah,
Later.
So Far Gone.
Alright, so that's
didn't do that.
2010. Kanye definitely done it on 808s. So that's
Oh,
2008.
okay,
But I think we all can agree we don't get Drake without Kanye.
that's true.
So
And yeah,
Drake doesn't exist in the same capacity without Kanye
Doing
and
what he
Pharrell
done.
doing what they done.
and you know what? I'm using the wrong name. It's not Drake. I'm 40.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So that's more what I mean. Okay, Drake is obviously probably has some.
I reckon it's a
I think it's
collaborative process.
but
innit?
it's 40, and I think Drake would probably say 40 is I put my trust in my man. He creates the sound. I go in and I go and do my thing. But yeah, you're right. I think that probably both of them are very inspired by that. But there's just a few projects that I've listened to recently that has just made me think. I wanted to ask you because your memory is good at like retaining
Yes.
things. So
I don't know why. I need to go back and listen to a couple of them old school projects because I was really in
will as
love
well.
with that video concept idea. Yeah, there are certain songs where it just sort of had elements of that on projects.
Yeah.
But for some strange reason, I just can't remember right now.
yeah,
Missy Elliott, 100%. She was crazy, fam. She was so forward thinking. There was
A few
sometimes
people
Yeah,
did that.
proper.
Like Fabulous done that. Lil Bow Wow done that. Where
I'm talking about projects.
for the music video.
yeah, of course.
Yeah,
but,
yeah,
but the
yeah.
first,
Well, Michael Jackson was doing that.
Yeah,
Michael
True.
Jackson was doing that very regularly.
it's true.
Like that was a.
But yeah,
that-
the first
That's
pro-
that's
first
been a
time-
thing for a long time. That's been a thing from
From
when I
early.
started watching music videos.
But because the production on certain songs, no disrespect to some of them artists, the production doesn't take me mentally to another place. I never take too much time to indulge in it. The production, not to say that it's not good, it just doesn't require the level of, well, for me anyway, I'm just listening to it and I'm not like, raw, that's mad production. That's either really soft or really... So when
You're
Missy Elliott and
talking
Timbaland
about-
were doing it, it's like I would go to their project because I would feel like the production there is so crazy. I wonder if you have elements of that in your tracks, and they did.
Yeah.
I just can't remember because my memory is not good anymore.
When I was talking about the songs that had like, because you was talking about the grown up grime thing, yeah, he's got a song on there called "Good Youths Walk Amongst Evil," and it's got like it sounds kind of dizzy-ish, like dizzy production-ish. Do you know what I mean? Which is the nostalgic vibe, but then it's like glossed over with like a very forward-thinking, different sound. And it's like Kano is an artist, yeah, who is a person who is able to come out with a project, do some shit, and then disappear. He can go and disappear, feel some things, experience some things for a couple of years or whatever it may be, and then come back and be able to express it all in the music. I felt like it was so good to see that he came back not necessarily on a vibe of, I'm going to do what is sick today, like what everyone is just on today. I'm just going to get some producers who I like, who I rate, help them, get them to create a sound, however they did it. I was trying to find like who would produce what and all of that stuff. But irrespective of that, he's done his thing. He's just done his own thing and created his own little sound for his project to just make it almost just exclusive to him, which is super cold. I'm a Jamaican, so I'm always gonna love the samples from Capleton, Sizzler, and even just in his own, even just in when he's like rap singing, like when Kano's rap singing on hooks, you could easily hear like a Gregory Isaac singing that. Like seriously, you take
He's
away
a
the
yard
production,
man.
you take away the production, yeah, and you hear and just the lyrics and the way that he's delivering it, you could easily hear a Dennis Brown singing that a little bit with a bit more of a thing because they're singers, in it, but you can hear that. So I'm always gonna like that. He sampled
He's been doing that since the first album.
Stars
Signs in Life and
yeah. He's got an interesting story about the song that he did with
Vibes
Vibes
Cartel.
Cartel.
You told me.
That
When I
was
heard
like-
about that story, when you told me that story, I was heartbroken. As much as he was heartbroken.
No, it was good. It was a good story still. It was because I think before I started doing the podcast, obviously I was doing like these radio shows and just putting on SoundCloud, and then I was like phoning artists and just ringing them and just finding out what they were up to. I used to call it phone check, and Kano was one of them, and we spoke for like 15 minutes, and like he just was telling a story about how the song with Cartel came about, and it was a funny story still.
Boss it top.
He's got a song, the song called "Can't Hold Me Down." Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say as well. That's the one that features Popcorn, yeah. And it like as you get to that point, for me anyway, as I get to that point in the album, yeah, I hear a guy that seems like very reflective about how things used to be, but also really grateful for where he is today, and like. It would be good to hear this in the conversation that maybe he's done with Akala or maybe even someone else, yeah. But just the mentioning of like the parts of what was going on in his life at certain points, but then saying that 27, 28 and 29 were his lowest or his worst. What albums did Kano do around that time, by the way? If Kano's around 33, 34, what was he doing musically at that time?
What year was it?
Find out when This Is the Girl That I Want came out.
Oh, you're wildin'.
Everyone knows how I feel about that.
I know. Was that Method to the Madness?
That was London Town, so that was 2007.
It might have been like... It might have been
140
just
Grime
after...
Street's not on Spotify.
Nah. Why?
I don't know. None of his mixtapes. He should put his mixtapes up.
140 Grime Street, I bought that like 3 times.
That's all original songs.
Bro, there's a tune with Gets on that project, yeah? A Hunting
Kano
Hugo.
mixtapes were
Oh my God. Hunting with Kano and Gets. Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Cuz I beg anyone go listen to that tune there. That tune there is absolute crud.
Is it still available to buy?
What? 140 Grime Street.
Check iTunes. Is it just not on streaming services? It's got to be on iTunes.
It's got to be on iTunes because
it's always on iTunes. Yeah. It has to be on iTunes. That's out of order if it's not on iTunes.
Yeah, that like people. If you haven't heard that, you should definitely go and revisit that.
140 Grime Street is worth it.
It was hard. Do you know what? I think we spoke about this before as well. Yeah, the combination between him and Gets is just fucking.
It's ridiculous.
It's mental.
It's ridiculous. Them man are connected telepathically on some next thing. It's a bit unfair, fam.
They are, innit?
Yeah.
It's like when you hear other people doing it, other people can pull it off. But it's just different when them two do.
Kano and Gets his Dwight York and Andy Cole in their prime. We're talking Styles, Jada. It's just a whole nother stratosphere.
Yeah.
Them men are coming in on half bars and they're jumping in on threes and it's just all crazy over there.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this and I just don't know how this is happening.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't know how this is happening. And just when you think that it can't get any more interesting, or then D-Double's on the hook. And you're just like, you know what?
God, I know.
Forget it, fam.
Yeah, it's mad.
Fam, I love and hate Kano in the same breath. He's so lit, and I hate the fact that he can disappear for like 7 years, come back and still be lit. That hurts. Like that's a gift.
Well, do you know what?
That's just not fair.
It's a gift that only a few artists are afforded. Yeah. Like only a few artists are able to disappear and come back, and it be if you get put a marketing campaign together that is gonna make people care.
If you can get through the rat race, stage of your career where you're just releasing to release to remain relevant, and in a sea full of artists that are all releasing to remain relevant and get that like legendary status, then I think that's the best thing to do, man. Fall back, come back every 3 years. Just know that it's a young man's game, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And you know with Kano, that's why.
So when you have to come as an adult, like you can't come as trying to fit in.
You got to be yourself. You got to be
the older now, innit? And come in and leave a message behind and then cut for a bit. Go do some acting. Top Boy is gonna be so sick.
I know.
Well, do you know what? Sorry to cut you before we go to Top Boy. The reason why I was upset about the Kano situation as well is because the younger generation, I just don't think you get it. Like I saw, me and Whiteley were talking about this today. I think it was Zoo tweeted, "I wish Gets and Kano would help the younger generation." And some of the people then off the back of it, I saw someone say, "Kano is not good." Now this is what's mad to me in this country, and I just hope it's not something that's widespread. People need to respect what people like Kano and Gets done. I understand where Zoo's coming from. Yes, in the ideal world, you being Zoo or any young MC, to have Kano and Gets help you, that is the world of confidence, fam. Like that is a mad thing. That's like Ian Wright sitting in my living room, bro. It's just like, wow, this is crazy. But in the same breath, if it doesn't happen, I'm still very thankful what Kano and Gets have done.
Yeah.
they've allowed me to even be able to come here and spray bars.
Word.
So if they don't want to come and stand beside me, thank you for all the work you've done so far. I don't like the negative energy sometimes given to the predecessor, the people that were here, killing it before. Because without them having to do Axe FM, Heat FM, fucking every single bloody pirate radio station that was back in the day, there is no scene right now. Yeah. So when I see the younger generation talk about people like Kano like that, I'm just like, you lot don't get it.
Yeah.
My man was spitting bars before anyone even knew people could spit bars like that.
But every generation's gonna do that. Your generation weren't necessarily looking at the pioneers of pirate radio.
You don't have to love it. You don't have to love it, because I didn't love everything that happened before me, but I had an appreciation for it being there, and that's all I want to make sure comes across. Like the appreciation. You don't have to love the new Kano. If you're a 19-year-old boy and you're listening to an older Kano, you're probably not going to gravitate towards him. He's not talking about anything really and truly that you can relate to. But there still must be an appreciation for what he does. You know where I'm coming from?
Do you know what I think
as well? If
they
stop and take the time to even understand it, like that's the past, bro. It actually means nothing to them.
No, I'm fully aware of that, but you can still appreciate
you say that,
the
but then that kind of it's then almost contradicts a little bit of what he's saying then, because if he's saying, if for example he's saying, I wish that like they would help me or whatever, then clearly they care.
Was Zoo saying help him or help who?
I think he was saying help in general. I can't remember it. I don't want to say it down to the T,
but I think he was talking
to
know about what he meant by that.
I think he meant personal. I think he meant personally. It would be nice for them to come and help him.
Because that was going to lead to my next point. Yeah, I don't know whether this has happened or it hasn't happened or whatever. Yeah, but I feel like, and I can't speak for everyone, this is my observation. Yeah. I don't feel like everyone feels like that these lots should help them. So the people that do feel like that, like, ask. I couldn't imagine. I'm not saying maybe he has or maybe he hasn't, but I couldn't. He may have done, but I don't know. So I'm just making my own assumption. I'm just taking a guess here. Yeah, I couldn't imagine that like at this stage in Get's life right now, another artist who is super sick, by the way, super sick, says to him, you know what? Yeah, I just need a tiny bit of mentoring. I just need a, you know what I mean, whatever it may be. I can't imagine a man like Get saying,
neither can
fuck that.
I can imagine Get saying, having a conversation, an honest conversation.
I could imagine him saying, you know what, you're cold. Yeah, let's talk.
Bro, when Gets rates you, yeah, I'm telling you, fam, he just tells you, like, he's just so honest. Gets is so honest and so upfront and so real about a situation. Like, I can understand why people would want his energy, because his energy is just lit, bruv. Like, so I get it. But
well, I think we as people anyway, we as people sometimes are very prideful. So we won't want to ask for any type. We may say it, we might pull it on social media, we might say it in and amongst our friends and stuff like that, yeah. But when it comes down to going to a man and saying to him, do you know what, yeah, I need a little something. Not financially, just a little bit of point, like just show me how to maneuver in a room full of vultures. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, help me a little bit. I mean, help me understand stuff. We don't really want to do it, really. It's a bit prideful, but you know what? You just do it.
No, you have to do it, because you got to understand, like, you see Kano or Gets or whoever it is watching someone else's career, we're only watching the highlights that you're putting up.
Definitely.
So I'm not necessarily seeing the struggle behind that. So I feel like a lot of people, I kind of get, sometimes I'm like, oh, this is my friend, why ain't he helping me out with this and that? But it's like, I'm not asking. And from the outside world, I understand that it might look like I'm in a great position and I'm doing well. Do you get it? Yeah. But I'm just not expressing to them that I'm not. I need help.
You get certain
and do you know
people
what? That's so true. Yeah, I'm sorry to get, and that's so true. I know a lot of people, even some people that are close to me, who will not ask me anything, but will expect me to just know that they need help, and I have to sit down with people.
You got your own issues.
Because I've got my own things, dog.
Everyone's got their own problems.
Me have bill for pay, me have kids. I've got so much things going on. Yeah. I don't even know why anyone thinks for 1 second of the day, of my day, that I'm just going to just suddenly think of you. Like, bro, that is just some
and that goes to what I'm saying anyway, yeah, because you've got a lot going on in your life. But me, as how I know you, I know you as a person as, if a man comes to you and says to you, or ask you, you know, I need a bit of pointers in whatever it may be, you're gonna give it.
If I can help,
if you can
help,
exactly.
Yeah,
but it's not like, remember, the helping doesn't necessarily have to come as a form of, oh, here's this number, ring this person, or, you know, I'm gonna put you in contact with. It could just be little things like, have you thought about this, or have you thought about that? or this is what I did. Even though this is what I did, it's my blueprint. It doesn't mean it's gonna work
It'll
for
work for
everyone.
everyone, yeah.
I'm just letting you know this is just how I did it or whatever. I'll tell you that. That's not a problem. I think, and then you have certain personalities who will just go out and just help or just, you know what I mean? They might just, it seems as though Giggs has been that type of person for certain artists. Like, there's so many times I've heard a man come out and say, or a youth come out and say, yeah, I spoke to him on the phone about whatever it may be, and he doesn't really talk about that too much. He's hinted at it a couple of times. Yeah, like I've rang a man or a youth and had a conversation with him or whatever. But not everyone is just like that. So if you feel that it's something that you want, then ask for it. But again, I'm not saying a man ain't asked for it. I'm just saying that, like, if it's gonna be put out there like that, I don't think that some of these guys are not as approachable as it may seem. Like, I do think that you can ask for that. Whether they're gonna do it or not, I don't know, innit? But like,
so let's change the course of the conversation because it's funny. The people that have that mentality, though, I do find it very humorous sometimes because, Chuckie, this is the truth. When I was coming up and I'd done the whole Channel U thing, yeah. Do you know how much people I wanted to ask for help? Do you know how much people I wanted to? But you know, when I looked at everything, I thought none of us really know what the fuck we're doing. We're all winging it.
Yeah, exactly.
So me asking you, you're still figuring out as well. So I decided, instead of all of that energy of me thinking everyone knows what's going on, I said I might as well try and create my own path.
Yeah.
There's no point in me asking you a bag of you what to do with my life. It's actually my life. So let me try and work this out. Because if I work it out myself, then I have the information.
Yeah.
And I think some people, them try easy ride, dog. They want to just get answers from people and just build up their thing without having to try and go through some dirt. But
of course. And people have to understand as well, yeah? This is not in relation to Zoo, by the way. I'm just saying
no,
in
it's
general.
nothing to do with Zoo now.
But like, the way that like it worked for someone, it may not work for you like that.
More than likely, it's not going to.
Exactly.
Everyone that I know that has blown to a certain level has done it a completely unique way. There's no one journey that I know of that is exactly the same.
Nope. And that's the best thing about the whole situation. That's what allows you to know your own individual. The fact that you got your own story, the fact that you got your own unique way of getting there. It's just about applying yourself, and you know the things that are holding you back more times. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Sorry to swear off in a different conversation. I just found it interesting. Still, I found that interesting because I look at Kano as he's a legend to me. He's just an absolute legend. He can't do no wrong. He's Kano. Do you understand where I'm coming from? So when somebody who claims they love the genre of grime, and I'm not quite sure who it was, but I would love to have spoken to that person like, yo, my bro, let me just at least educate you about why Kano is so...
You can't save them all.
No, you can't save them all, but do you know what? Somebody, I don't mind trying to talk to somebody who's willing to have a conversation so I can just show you why Kano is so integral to our scene. He's an important figure. You can't just be sending that narrative, fam. Like, that's just not true.
Remember I mentioned before, when I was saying that about like finding certain things inspirational from artists and stuff, like when they've put themselves in a good position financially, but more importantly in their mind as well. But I remember being a person as well who like tries to study the game a lot and just looking at what people are doing and listening to music or whatnot. I remember there was actually a time where I was thinking to myself, what's going on with Kano? Because right now it seems like everyone's kind of cutting through right now and doing a thing, and you know what I mean, like the bag's out here right now. The scene seems to be
when
super
are you
set
talking
up.
Though?
Before Made in the Manor, because there was like I'm sure that the distance between Made in the Manor and his last project was a big distance. You're gonna go about to find out. Anyway, I just remember in my mind, whether I was right or wrong,
that's probably the time he's talking about his lowest
about
time.
Being low and stuff like that. So when I hear Kane say things like him and Bashy go into the dealership and cop in the all black, but we didn't leak it because we're grown men now. I believe him when he says that. I believe that him and Bashy went to the dealership and they copped 2 things and they left and they didn't tweet it. They didn't Instagram it. They didn't do nothing. They just went and did their thing. And do you know how much I love that? I believe him when he says, you know what? I went to Dubai for lunch, came back by the evening. I love it when he says that. I love that because I know that at some point it wasn't really like that. And it's like, again, I'm listening to a project now where it seems like I'm hearing a guy who is very reflective of the past, but very grateful of the future, but also trying to let some of the young buck know, listen, there's an in for you right now.
Do you know what though? Yeah, he's always definitely been heavily influenced by Jay-Z, and that's the same vibe Jay-Z gives off.
Yeah,
is that I'm gonna stunt, but I'm gonna teach you while I'm stunting on how you can do it or what we all need to do. Do you get it?
Do you know, actually, just talking about that, this is on a different tangent, but I even want to hear a bit more stunting from Ed Sheeran, to be honest with you.
You want to hear?
I want to hear.
There's stunting on the album.
No, I know there is, but I want to hear more of it.
Man said half a billion on the Divide tour and all that.
This is what I'm talking about. Because you know what? Like, Ed Sheeran, I know we're going off here, but Ed Sheeran is doing big, like, he did Wembley like 5 times, in a row.
Bro, I was in Atlanta. That guy sold out a stadium because there was a bag of people walking around with Ed Sheeran masks, asking me to talk every 5 seconds because I was English. I just said, Ed Sheeran's actually a global superstar.
He's the biggest artist in the world right now.
The epitome of global superstardom. The epitome
and
of
you know
it.
I rate him? Everyone's out here with all of this, man jumping on stage and backup dancers and bare things. And Ed Sheeran comes on stage with our one guitar and keeps it so funky.
Fam, he was doing one guitar and a strobe light for time.
He keeps it groovy with that.
Bro, my man was doing big arenas with a guitar and one strobe light. Morgan, you're a man who rolls with artists and stuff like that, yeah? Please just put this into context of what goes behind putting on a show. Like, when you look at the fact that, like, some might have a band, then you've got the stage production and all the amount of people that employed just to put on a show and involved with an artist. It's him, his manager, a guitar, his tour manager, maybe a brethren, and a strobe light. A light man.
But he's got bare guitars though.
Yeah, I know. I've seen.
But
that's just worst case scenario. It's like he has like 7 guitars.
He makes the most on tour, and he probably has to spend the least.
The least. Listen. It's the best 20% in probably music history from his manager's point of view. Like, what is a better 20%?
A guitar. That's it. A guitar. He's moving like a yardie. That's why I'm rating his thing right now.
Adele's a good 20% as well.
Yeah, but she's got orchestra.
Yeah,
that's big bank. She's
her
walking away with bank, but that's big bank. Like, that's like, you know what I mean? 2 bills here, 5 bills there, 5, 2, 5, 2, 5, all of that stuff. Ed's got his lighting guy. It's different now because obviously he's used stage production and all that type of stuff. But yeah, now sometimes I want to hear how much Eddie's mattress costs. I want to hear him say that it costs more than your. I want to hear him talk about his greenhouse is bigger than your. I want to hear some of that.
I heard Donny just lives in the same little village.
I think he's got a big yard.
So funky.
I think he's got a big yard still. And
the
watch is his watch looks dim, but it's about 2 million.
His watch collection is
mad.
Silly.
He probably walks around with a dim watch, but like it looks dim, but it's about 4 mil.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
Yeah, and it's a one away.
No, I'm not. But the thing is, so you misunderstood what I was saying. I'm not saying he doesn't have a big house, but you know when a man lives a normal lifestyle, you're just not gonna hear that type of stuff, my brother.
Yeah.
He's got a compound of like 5 houses worth like 15 million or something.
I'm not saying that, but I heard he still goes to the pub. He's like, if I had Ed Sheeran money, you would hear that stuff because I'm not out here. I'm not kind to the. Yeah.
Money you hear it.
Yeah, man, I'm not gonna hear. Oh, poets change. I would tell you, damn right, big man.
Right.
What? I'm out here with what? How much on my wrist? And we're getting funky now. We're getting groovy.
Ending on this Kano thing though, quickly, yeah. He's got a song called "Bang Your Doors" to this, yeah, which is obviously about his brethren in jail and man them in jail and all of that. And it's like, usually you're gonna hear like a mad like tune with just bare testosterone and all of that, yeah. But this is just a skanking thing. Do you ever remember Nobody Don't Dance No More?
Yeah.
And there's a house version to that.
It's lit.
So it's like, it's not as, the tempo's a lot slower, but it's like, I listened to that song and I went straight away, I listened to Nobody Don't Dance No More, and it had that same type of vibe to it a little bit, and that, which I thought was super cold as well. Could have done with a couple more songs though. 10 is nice, but I could have done with an extra 2. I probably could have done with a.
Chuckie's always greedy, man.
Sorry, fam. I could have done with a, especially because like there's elements of it that is directed at the youths, and just kind of like talking to them a little bit. might have been nice to maybe hear a young Dave on there. Maybe I might be biased on that, but I just think that like a Dave and Kano song on a particular album like this
Dave and Kano
would have been
would be
perfect.
Defo.
But the way you're talking about this Kano album, this is the way it was meant to be.
Yeah,
Cool.
Because the way you're speaking about it being cohesive, and I haven't listened to it properly yet, but the way you're speaking about it is a piece of art. It's not like when a pop artist makes an album, they just throw and find loads of songs that they can get loads of money off individually.
Yeah.
Which is probably seasonal and all this other bollocks.
Yeah.
This sounds like Kano went away, went to the mine, said, I'm going to make a body of work and come back and deliver it. And
Which he's always going to do now, I think.
so if that's what he's doing, man just got to appreciate this and wait
Of course,
for the next one.
I'm in. I'm pissed. I'm not going to the. He's doing a show in Royal Albert Hall, innit? I'm
Why
going to be in
can't you go?
Jamaica.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm going to Jamaica still.
I'll film it for you.
Nah, I'm not going to watch it because I don't want to.
No, I'm going to film it for you anyway, against your will, and send it to you. So
I'm not going to watch it. I will
You'll
not
have
look
to.
it. I won't look
You'll
at it.
have it in your phone.
I won't look. I'll wait until hopefully you announce another London date.
No,
and then
I'm gonna
go
tell him
that,
not to.
Which is not going to be the same probably because everyone's going to come out of that one and that's going to be the super duper lit one and all of that shit. But you know what? It's cool. I just have to miss that.
I want to make sure I want to see if I can get you banned from any of his shows.
You're
so you don't watch
mad.
it.
You're a sick guy. Did you go to the Kentish Town show that he did, Morgan? That was like a couple of
Kentish
years
Town?
ago. Yeah.
No. I saw
was
the only time I seen Kano perform was in Croatia.
Okay.
Outlook Festival like a few years ago. No, it was a while ago now. It's probably like 4 or 5 years ago.
He's going to start. You know that now.
But he performs Boys Love Girls and all of that. It's hard.
Yeah.
And Ghetto Coyote, all of that.
Yeah.
Serious?
Yeah, it's hard. Well, he did at Outlook, and that's, I guess it's a dance kind of, it's like, it's more dance-led festival, innit? But
Nah, that's
Kano's
sick, though.
lit.
This album here, I proper liked it. I proper enjoyed it, bro. And it's mad because there's a few projects out right now that I'm like super enjoying, and it's hard because actually it's not because each album right now that I'm listening to matches a particular vibe that I'm in. So when I'm in that vibe, I can go to that particular album right now, and I have stages where I'm bored or where there's nothing out. So there's a particular vibe that I'm in, but I don't have a body of work to match that vibe right now.
So what am I listening to now? It's funny you even say any of this. Yeah, I'm still on last month's stuff.
But yeah, fuck it. Oh, there's so much things to say, man. Even just the fact that Popcorn's on that tune as well, that particular tune is... Wait, let me play you something quickly. We'll have to take this part out.
Yeah, let me show you something. Look at this.
I just believe him and I feel it. I just believe him and I feel it. I love seeing Popcorn running up and down all over the place, all over the world, just doing his thing, because that's another thing with Jamaicans. It wasn't always like that. Jamaicans had it hard. Like Jamaican artists had it hard, you know, like being like people extorting them and taking advantage of them. Like they literally, this was what it was like. In Jamaica, this is maybe not a good example of what I'm going to use here, but let's just say, for example, they had all the cocaine and they didn't know that they had it. They just had it because they just enjoyed just growing it and all of that. And then you had people that just came from all over the place and was like, oh, is that what I'll give you a little change. Take that, bam, go and bring it to a next country and start making big peas from it. And nobody can't see nothing. That was what was happening for them for ages. You'll hear stories about the brown paper bag where people will come over like from England or whatever, record execs or whatever will go over and just say to the producer, you know what, I'll tell you what, yeah, let me give you let's just say, for example, I'll give you £1,000 or £500 or whatever, JA or, not JA because that's minor, but let's say £500, yeah, and let me take that rhythm from you. You're gonna take that, you're from the fucking hood, that's a lot of money. You turn that into Jamaican money and you're nice, but guess what, my man got that, now he owns the rights of this. So, boom, he's paid you 5 bills from it, but he's making 20, 30 grand from that. And you're not going to see nothing from it.
You know what the harsh reality is? That's still happening right now.
Of course.
Especially in the UK. Obviously, some of the change that you're taking for your stuff is a little bit nicer so you can start. But essentially, bro,
a man told...
That's still happening now. Everyone's getting bumps.
But this is the thing, yeah. Someone even told me
people
just
do,
recently, yeah, from a credible sources that because of so much of that, some of it was happening in the past and that. There's like a big bunch of music, yeah, that is being streamed and like loads of people are just not even making money from it because like they signed over their thing, or they don't even really know how this streaming stuff and that works. So now, and then also the other things of like being banned from the countries and stuff like that.
But
So you can't come
just,
England.
even like the DJs in Jamaica, a lot of the tunes used to come out. The DJs were distributing the tunes. So when streaming's come along, they've learned how to distribute the tunes through streaming, and they're paying artists the same as the majors. Like they're just giving them a piece to jump on the tune, and then they're putting out the tune. So the artist is finding out, oh, you make $4,000 per million on Spotify, and they're looking at 20 million streams, they're thinking, right.
Wow, exactly.
So the DJ, so that's all changing.
Do you get me? And the thing is as well, that's why it's
sad,
like
man.
the artists from here, like some of the artists from here, and then like how it was in Jamaica, and that is very synonymous. It's like in how some of them were treated, but also just having a gold mine and then not being able to benefit from it until later on. Like I was in Carnival just recently, I see Cranium again, and he was with Agent Sasko Assassin, who's one of my favourite artists. Well, this is so minor, but I see Assassin with a Rolex on. That makes me happy because I know it wasn't like that before. It wasn't like that. But now he can go around and flex and do his thing and whatnot. And like, I was with one of my brethren that I was with at Carnival, funny enough, he doesn't understand that. So like, and he don't understand who Assassin is and all of that. One of my other brethren was, he did. Because he's a dancehall guy. But there was one particular person who was with us who didn't really understand. He's like, why are we walking with them? Like, let's just go off and do our thing or whatnot. But what I'm trying to explain to him is that like, me walking through Carnival of Assassin, is like you walking through Carnival or whatever with Little Baby or one of these these guys or whatever that you proper look up to. This man I've been listening to for years. And I'm walking through Carnival with my man, casually. And he's wearing a rollie. I'm loving it.
Do you know what? I wish I had that mentality still. Because it doesn't matter if I've been listening to you before I even knew I had ears. If I don't want to walk into you,
of course.
I don't care about any of that, man.
Nah, but I wanted to because like...
You have to, he's from Jamaica. We got to show them on the ends.
100%.
In Jamaica...
And I've always said, like, for me personally, I've always been way more starstruck or felt something more in my stomach when I've seen a Jamaican
when they're from home. When they're from home.
Then I have an American. When I first saw Buju Banton in Carnival as well, bruv, I damn near fucking fainted.
That's different though.
Huh?
That's different.
I couldn't believe
Buju's
it.
a different thing.
I see my man walking through with the motorbike. I'll never forget it. Walking all black, had the motorbike outfit on with the helmet, and he was just walking through the crowd. I couldn't believe it.
I would follow him in real life, not on Twitter.
When I first saw Sizzler, I almost died, Dread. Seriously.
But this is different. Now you're mentioning legends. That I care about. But like...
But
Are there Americans that you felt like that about though?
Nah, I met
None.
Diddy. I went to Diddy's hotel room years ago. It's a long story still, but it was like my mentor is really good friends with his manager at the time. I don't know if he still manages him, but like I remember her saying to me one day, like Diddy's down, can you just go to pick up something or the other or whatnot? So I was like, alright, cool. So obviously I've gone there now, gone in, met some guy. I met the manager. Then the manager was like, oh, you know what, you might as well just come up, whatever. And then I was just seeing like Diddy just getting ready and shit, jewelry on and whatnot, and like obviously it was kind of sick because it was like, I'm gonna tell my brethren and that, like man was with fucking Diddy and that, but it was not the same when I saw Buju. It just wasn't even. It wasn't even nearly the same.
It's the equivalent of me seeing, like, for example, someone from another end doing really, really well. I feel really excited. But if I see someone from my hood where I've grown up doing really, really well, bro, it's like I can relate to their struggle. I'm like, cuz, yes, I remember going farm to kick ball. I remember running because it was dangerous. I really remember this hood. You've done so well. Do you know what I mean?
But I've seen enough of them, and obviously now I still continue to see a lot of them. We do, innit, like with work and things that we do and people that we're associated with and stuff like that. And it's not to take away from it because it's still nice sometimes. You're like, oh, rah, like I check for my man still, or I see him a lot, or like I listen to his music, or this particular project meant a lot to me or whatnot. But it's just different. It's just different, bro. For
now,
me, it's just different.
No, I'm with you because now for me, I'm very, very attracted and very, very likened by people's stories. That allows me to go, yo, I'm going to listen to your music, or I'm going to... For the simple fact that there's so many musicians, there's so many footballers, there's so many of everything, I need to find something that unique about you, which separates you from the pack, which isn't something that I can see day to day. I don't care if you got a great voice or this or that. It's like, where have you come from? Raw, that's your struggle. That's a mad thing. And you've managed to achieve this. Nah, cause you're lit. And that's what I gravitate towards now.
This is what me and Eddie were saying about Bashy earlier today. It was like, man's really like seen the come up. Like coming from, like, I went to Queen's Park, so that's like, he lived 2 streets away from Queen's Park School. So like, man, remember when he was driving buses, and like, you've really seen the whole journey. So it's gonna feel different, innit? Do you get it? Like with Americans, it's like we kind of, that's what they do, innit? That's what they've been doing.
But even that 80s. Different, like, even that
they
different.
Come up, they get their Rolex, their chain. Run DMC were lit.
Yeah,
do you get it? Like that's in America. If you don't get all that, it's like, oh,
we don't know any.
But even then, that different is. I mean, because with the Bashy example is that I get that, but I saw him a lot, and it's sick that he's doing what he's doing. I've just spoken about it now, but I think I'm talking about that feeling you get, like when you see a star. Yeah. Do you get me? It's like with Bashy, it's different because obviously it's from the ends and all of that type of thing, and he's managed to get to where he
felt like that,
and it's amazing.
The first time I felt like that in recent years, was like gigs when I used to shoot music videos for SBTV, and the first time I've ever bucked gigs in his estate in Peckham or in an estate in Peckham to shoot his video. That was the first time I was like, raw, like man really just was listening to this brother. Like, that's like, I was a fan, and then I'm shooting a video for him now. Kano is the same actually.
Yeah, I hear that.